What happened to the Harley Davidson ST models? Let's get into it. Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're all well. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notifications bell for all future videos. So, Harley Davidson 2024 bikes, we know what the score is. They've just released them. Everybody's going wild for the CVOs and the CVO Road Glide ST and the new Road Glide and the new Street Glide, right? Everybody's, oh, this is great, this is fantastic. And I kind of feel the same way. If you've got the money, if that's your bag, yes, they're really expensive, but fine. The Road Glide and the Street Glide, there seems to be, yeah, in some cases, seems to be quite a lot of value. You're getting a bigger engine, and in some cases, it's going to be just a little bit more expensive, or even a little bit less expensive. It depends on the kind of fit and finish that you go for. So I kind of get it. I think, yeah, it's a decent shout by Harley Davidson to release these bikes. But my question is, are we kind of being shortchanged here a little bit? Now, I've got to say that the ST models for the last couple of years, I haven't really been that impressed with them. That's not to say I didn't like them. I just kind of wondered, well, what was the thinking behind them? Were they ever really big sellers? Now, from this Softail point of view, for the Lowrider ST, which is obviously still being sold, I can see that completely. I wasn't really so sure about the Street Glide and the Road Glide ST. Now that they've released the Road Glide and the Street Glide with a 117 engine, I kind of get it. I say, well, you kind of duplicating here. Let's get rid of that. But the whole point of the ST was to be kind of more sportier, more solo rider, more sort of street riding, sort of focus with performance. A performance bagger that you could afford, that you could just buy at the dealership and roll away and away you go. Or it's a platform, certainly, which you could build upon to make it into a performance bagger. They seem to have done away with that. They seem to have said, no, we're just going to shy away from that. We're just going to give you a Street Glide, Road Glide with the same engine, similar kind of tuning, let's say. And we're going to take away some of the performance aspect of it. And if you really want performance, you're going to have to go for this CVO Road Glide ST, right? Which is kind of that track bike inspired bike that we kind of talked about 2 or 3 weeks ago. But is there something missing now? Should they, as Harley Davidson, should they bring the ST back? Or will they be bringing it back with a kind of new vibe to it? Now, they've kind of closed the door on it, in my opinion, because they've brought up the 117 engine for the Road Glide and the Street Glide, and they've pushed out the ST. I'm not sure if the ST has a home anymore with a 117 engine. So I think they've got to bring it back with a bigger engine. Okay, do they bring it back with a 121? But the problem is you've already got the CVO and the CVO Road Glide ST with that size engine. So is there any room for this bike anymore? Now, I say this, I make a video of this because whilst I wasn't the biggest fan, or whilst I wasn't the biggest fan of the STs, whether it's Street Glide, Road Glide, for my kind of riding, because I always thought, well, if you're going to get a Tourer, yes, you just build upon the Tourer that you've got and make it more performance based. You don't necessarily have to buy the ST. And also, if you're going to buy performance parts for your bike, buy really decent performance parts and not necessarily Screaming Eagle parts, which are good, but it doesn't necessarily make it a performance bagger. So that was always my thinking. And I also thought, well, actually, if I'm going to get a tourer bike, I actually wanted to do touring, and I actually want a level of comfort, and also want it two-up riding as well. So that was my mindset. So that's why I always thought, well, the ST wasn't really there, for me at least. But I could see where it fit into the market. What really surprised me, and this is maybe a misconception on my part, and maybe you're going to have to help me out here as well, but I always thought that the Road Glide ST and the Street Glide ST, certainly the Lowrider ST, were big sellers. In fact, I thought they certainly matched the other touring models, whether the Road Glide Special or the Street Glide Special, just to kind of make a rough comparison. I thought there was lots of people buying those bikes. So I'm kind of confused why they've kind of ditched the idea in favour of just bringing up, well, I'm not going to say a generic Street Glide and a Road Glide, but a kind of a bike that doesn't really scream out to me as being a performance variant. It kind of screams out to me as being yeah, a Street Glide or Road Glide redesigned, kind of relooks, with the new fairings, with the new infotainment system. I get all that, and it looks good, and there's kind of value there as well, or it's a little bit more expensive than the Street Glide Special and Road Glide Special were of 2023. I get all that. So this is not me slating Harley Davidson for bringing up those bikes, but I kind of think where you've kind of lost that performance part of it, really. All that performance kind of mindset, that performance bike, that solo rider performance bagger. And I just wonder if it's going to come back for the mid-range, as it were. What I'm really talking about here is that if you want that kind of bike, you have to go up to the CVO, and you have to spend a hell of a lot more money to get a kind of ST. Whereas before you didn't. You kind of had to spend late 20s, £30,000, dollars, shekels, whatever it is. So it seemed to be, whilst, you know, this is crazy, right? £30,000, dollars, shekels, it's a lot of money, and most people can't afford it anyway. But I'm saying it seemed to be a more affordable option, whereas now they seem to have scrapped that idea away and said, no, we're going to give you even more, but you have to buy only this bike, the Road Glide ST, the CVO Road Glide ST, and it's going to come with that setup. This is what it is. If you want that kind of riding, you can only buy that. And this is kind of what I've intimated before on previous videos, to say, well, they seem to be narrowing your selection, which in some ways can be a good thing. But it's almost like they're driving you to say, oh no, if you want a kind of performance style bike or a performance style bagger, you're going to have to spend really big. We're not going to give you the option to have a mid-range bike. Now, the counter-argument to this, because I can already hear it, the counter-argument is, well, you know, you got the Lowrider ST. That kind of fulfills that. And actually, for me, it's a better bike in terms of power-to-weight ratio, in terms of 117 engine, power-to-weight ratio, and it's a great bike to ride. I wasn't overly impressed with it in terms of the way it rode when I rode it, but it is a great bike. There's no denying it. So I'm just wondering whether the focus is where you're going to have to go really big or really expensive for the CVO Road Glide ST if you want that performance, or you're going to have to go down across to the Softails for the Lowrider ST. I think that they've closed the market, or they've closed their products. They've pushed the STs out, and I'm not sure if there's a way back in for it. I'm not sure whether there's a way back for a performance bagger anymore in the mid-range. Let me know your thoughts here. Whatever happened to the STs? Are they coming back? And I think they're going to be missed. I think there's going to be a bit of a call here for the STs in the used bike market. I've got a feeling that a lot of people are going to be saying, now hold on, those bikes are pretty good. Yeah, we can get those in the second used bike market with a 1, 2, 3,000 miles on there. They're a much better buy, not only than the Street Glide and Road Glide that they're offering now as base models, but certainly a lot better value than the CVO Road Glide ST. Now, of course, we're talking different generations of tech. I get all that. But in terms of just performance, I think the ST is going to be missed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notifications bell for all future videos. And I will catch you again on another video coming very soon. Bye now.